Francisco Colon. Dr. Colon has done a lot of research on what the information you're going to be getting. He's been practicing in our chiropractic center the last 2 years. He's one of the sharpest young chiropractors, not only in Dade County, but in Florida. He hails originally from the great state of Puerto Rico.
So, like Dr. Fisher said, part of my objective today is to motivate you guys to realize that one of the biggest killers for us is going to be heart disease, right? And the first line of defense is going to be prevention. They've all this talk of all these drugs and all these procedures, and what we're going to see is that some of the research actually indicates otherwise. So let's get started. These are the risks. We're not really going to pay attention to the uncontrollable risks. We can't control them. You're male, you're female, you're Hispanic, you're black, you're white, whatever. Doesn't matter. You're already fitted into that one. You can't control that one. Let's move on. Now the controllable ones are the ones that we can really do something about. And like I said, prevention is our first line of defense. It's lifestyle choices, things that we choose to do or not to do, things we choose to do better that are really going to dictate the outcome of our health. Smoking. The last 40 years, 5.5 million Americans have died from heart disease because they smoke. Physical inactivity. And we're talking about obesity here. Obesity here, it's linked to a lot of things. It's linked to stress, it's linked to your cholesterol, it's linked to hypertension, right? It's just generally unhealthy. So this is going to be one of the big ones that we're going to target. That's why it's called Heart Smart Nutrition. And again, let's point out that obesity is when you're 20% above your ideal weight. We'll talk about stress a little bit. Stress, I mean, we live in a stressful environment. So you have to take time and give thanks. Enjoy the things you have in life. Smell the flowers. Enjoy your day. And be positive. Have a positive outlook. Diabetes uncontrolled. Wow, this is top killer in America as well. If you have diabetes, anyone here has diabetes? No? You have diabetes. When you got diagnosed, what did your doctor say?
He said, I've got to take medication for it.
You got to control it. And if you don't control it, healthy or unhealthy? Yeah. So this is one of the things, we don't have much leeway when it comes to diabetes. Diabetes is going to raise how much sugar's in your blood. It's going to make your blood very acidic, very corrosive. It's going to raise inflammation. And this is really what we want to get into, is this high level of C-reactive protein. It's an indicator of inflammation in your blood. So blood acidity, right? If there's something acid, it's corrosive. Imagine having something acid running inside your arteries and veins. Your blood is corrosive. It's going to create inflammatory processes. And as we'll discuss in a couple of minutes, inflammation is actually a much higher indicator of heart disease, of heart attacks, than even your cholesterol is. Actually, I want you to not even think about cholesterol altogether. What I want you to look at cholesterol is your ratio. I don't want you to tell me, oh, it's over 280, this and that. You know what? It's shown that it's not important, and we'll go over the details in a minute. What I really want you to look in terms of cholesterol is your HDL, your happy cholesterol, over your total cholesterol. That should be above 25. If it's under that, you have increased probability of having a major cardiovascular incident. All right? If it's 10%, it might be imminent. All right? So when you look at your cholesterol fact sheets, what I really want you to take is that total cholesterol and that HDL. Put the HDL above the total cholesterol, and that'll give you your normal. 24, 25 or higher, that's a good sign. Anything lower than that means we have to eat better. We have to make better decisions. There's no magic pill that's going to get us to where we need to be, unfortunately. So, my goal is to motivate you, like I said. My goal is to give you the tools so that you make the most out of your time, so that you get the most out of your time. We already went over the risks, right? We're going to talk about the outside approach. If outside approach means there's something within that's wrong, so we're going to bring something from the outside to make it better. There's also the inside approach that believes that What's inside of you is what gets you healthy, what keeps you healthy. And this is what we talk about in our office. Day to day, all our patients here will tell you that we tell them that you have the potential to be healthy and it comes from within. And if you cherish that potential, if you give it the tools and the time necessary for it to manifest itself, you will be all you can be. But if your lifestyle choices are working against that inside potential, it'll be detrimental to your health. We talk about CRP and alkalinity. Alkalinity is the opposite of acidity. And then we'll put it all together and we'll close it up. All right? And hopefully you'll learn. If you have any questions, save them for the end. Some of you have handouts. There's a bunch of good information there. If you don't have one, we'll give you one. We'll get you one. We have them here on the side. We have them. Just stop by our booth here and we'll give them to you. Okay? So let's get started. Is high level of sugar in the blood normal? No. Right? That's what a diabetic is. Diabetic has a fault. They can't get the sugar out of the blood inside of the cell. We said that when we have a lot of sugar in the blood, we're going to create acidity. Right? And acidity is corrosive, and corrosive is bad. CRP measures acidity. Alright? So we have to focus on what we eat, because high blood sugar is bad. High blood pressure, is that normal? Yes or no? High blood pressure is not normal? I don't know what you've been reading. Because if you're running away from someone, you better have high blood pressure. If you're walking down a dark alley and someone taps you back in the shoulder, you better have high blood pressure because you're about to do a whole bunch of running. And if you don't have high blood pressure, your muscles are not going to get fed. So high blood pressure is a good thing, right? Having high blood pressure all the time is a bad thing. And another thing that's correlated to high blood pressure is going to be, going back, I guess. One of the things that's going to be related to the high blood pressure is going to be that CRP again. So running an exertion is a normal state where you have high blood pressure. High blood pressure can also be kind of the water hose example, right? If you turn on the water hose just a little bit and put your foot on it, is there going to be water coming out on the other side? Probably not, right? But if you keep cranking, that pressure will build up, eventually moving your foot out of the way, allowing the water to flow. If we think that our body knows what it's doing, we trust it because it heals our cuts. Because it digests the food without us making a conscious decision of doing so. If we trust our body, sometimes that high blood pressure can be an indication of health. If your body's trying to restore the normal balances, maybe an organ is not getting the amount of blood it should. And that's why your heart is racing the blood. Maybe we have a little bit too much stress, and our body's reacting to our external environment as if we were running away from someone. All right? That's why we have to do a little bit of stress management. Best way to do that is a